Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Well, it is the hottest day of the season out there. You can see it is still warm really all the way across the region here tonight. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Eric Miller. It's also very dry and has been for a while, but we do have some possible showers on the way for tomorrow. Let's get straight over to meteorologist Grant Skinner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Grant, a lot of folks with their fingers crossed right now.
Yeah, a little bit of rain tomorrow, not a big rain chance, but we're hoping for just some rain tomorrow. This is a view from the WRAL Gardens. It's beautiful right now. Lots of blue sky, lots of sunshine as well. People taking advantage of it, obviously. I was out there for a little while, and it is definitely still hot, and it will stay hot through the rest of this evening until we can finally drop into the 70s late this evening. 89 in Raleigh, 90 in Fayetteville, 89 in Durham. We made it to 93, which is a couple of degrees shy of the record, but still the hottest day of the year so far. 89 by 6 o'clock. Again, you can see by the time we hit around 11 p.m., mid-70s, low 70s into the upper 60s by early tomorrow morning. Our daytime high will be in the morning because of this cold front. That'll bring a chance for just a few showers. Then we'll turn cooler behind the front. The highest rain chance around the middle of the day. We'll talk more about the timing of this with Futurecast and also how cool we'll be into the start of next week. That's coming up.
And a reminder, a lot of folks out there, including Raleigh water customers, are facing water restrictions because of the drought. Starting Monday, customers can water lawns between midnight and 10 a.m. Odd-numbered addresses can water on Tuesdays. Even-numbered addresses can water on Wednesdays. You can find extended, in-depth coverage on this severe drought, the water restrictions, and how we got here. That's all on the WRAL YouTube page. Just go to our homepage and search drought. I want to share the latest information now about the shooting at Triangle Town Center that injured 3 people. Just some terrifying moments playing out yesterday. The mall reopened this afternoon for the first time since police swarmed it late yesterday after those shots were fired. A mall spokesperson told us they've increased security patrols by 50% today. Police confirmed this morning that the incident yesterday involved 3 17-year-olds who got into an argument with a 20-year-old employee at the mall. Police say that employee was the first to shoot. We have team coverage of today's developments. We want to start with WRAL's Bailey Stamos live outside of Triangle Town Center. Bailey.
Like you said, Eric, Raleigh police say this all started when 3 17-year-olds assaulted a 20-year-old who works here at the mall. They say ultimately that 20-year-old was the one who first opened fire. Now, I got here around 3:30 today, which is around the same time that main police presence broke out yesterday. And as you can see from the commotion behind me, there are just hundreds of people in and out of this mall area, and actually a food truck festival happening now. But this incident has really brought up the conversation around security. WRAL's Kirsten Clark was here earlier today when the mall first opened, speaking to people about what safety means for them going forward.
Rahul Hassani reopened his store inside Triangle Town Center Mall just hours after hearing gunshots and running to safety.
It's Saturday. We need to be here today. We need to be here today.
He says the security and police response was swift, with officers arriving within minutes after the shooting.
They were there escorting people out and screaming and yelling at people to get to a safe location.
Rylan Woosley tells us she heard a similar story from her family who was shopping at the mall when shots rang out. She returned today to do her own shopping, though a bit on edge.
So I was like, might as well face that fear and go ahead and get it over with.
We asked her if she felt there was enough security at the mall.
It would be good to have as much security as possible just because it is a large mall. And again, it seems like they were able to just walk in easily with a gun.
That same thought was on Yasmin Person's mind as she headed inside with her kids.
Places like this had more security measures in place. Maybe things like that wouldn't or couldn't happen.
We asked Summit Properties, that's the owner of Triangle Town Center, what will be done differently to keep people safe when the mall reopens. A spokesperson told us, quote, "We have increased security patrol by 50% since yesterday." He said it will last for as long as necessary. He did not elaborate on what that looks like. But Hassani says he noticed a change right away.
There were a lot of security just moving around a lot more, and when I get here earlier normally, I don't normally see that.
Raleigh police were also at the mall, but the presence of more security guards and law enforcement alone isn't enough to put all minds at ease.
But what are they doing more to help resolve the issue? that's the question. Like, you can have more people, but what are you doing to prevent it from happening again?
I do think that metal detectors could come, in handy with that, especially if you are underage. I think that needs to be checked out because you should not have guns.
When an incident like this happens, you need to beef up the security,
People voicing their concerns in hopes of preventing more violence in the future. In Raleigh, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
The 3 people sent to the hospital yesterday did stay overnight but are expected to recover from their injuries. And as far as charges, the Wake County District Attorney's Office will now have to take those next steps in filing a petition because juveniles are involved. Bailey Stamos, WRAL News, live at Triangle Town Center.
Tonight, a Raleigh police officer is out of a job and facing charges. Police say 27-year-old Ryan Greathouse assaulted his ex-girlfriend and her current boyfriend at a home on Lake Crest Drive last Sunday. He was arrested yesterday and then fired after the DA decided to move forward with charges. Greathouse's charges include assault and false imprisonment. Raleigh Police Chief Rico Boyce released a statement reading in part, members of the Raleigh Police Department must hold themselves to the highest standards of personal and professional conduct, both on and off duty. Boyce says there will also be an internal affairs review. Chatham County deputies seized marijuana products that look a whole heck of a lot like the snack aisle. Just take a look at what they found here. These are the packages which contained edibles that look like popular children's cereals and snacks. You can see some that resemble Lucky Charms, Ruffles Chips, Captain Crunch, just to name a few. 23-year-old David Rodriguez is now facing multiple charges here, including possession of controlled substances within 1,000 feet of a school. The sheriff's office said they want parents to be aware of these lookalikes. A memorial service was held today for former Miss North Carolina, Carrie Everett. The 2024 title holder died on Easter Sunday after battling an aggressive form of stomach cancer. She was just 22 years old. Family and friends gathered in Washington State to honor her life and legacy. Her sister reflected on how she'll always remember Carrie.
Because when I think of who Carrie was, I think of the love that she shared with the world and the love that she shared with me. And I wouldn't trade a moment of who Carrie was to lessen the pain that I feel because of the weight of was. The weight of was is crushing, but the weight of was is what makes life worth living. And the weight of Carrie was is worth celebrating.
Another memorial service is planned in North Carolina next month. New tonight, Iran has reversed course on reopening the Strait of Hormuz and fired on a tanker attempting to pass through the waterway. Iran said it will continue blocking transit as long as the U.S. is blockading Iranian ports. The announcement today comes after President Donald Trump said the U.S. blockade will, quote, remain in full force until Tehran reaches a deal with the U.S. that includes its nuclear program. Tehran had reopened the strait yesterday to commercial vessels. Pakistani officials said the United States and Iran are moving closer to a deal ahead of the April 22nd ceasefire deadline. Here's a look at gas prices here this morning. Statewide, an average gallon of gas costs $3.81. That's down 1 cent from yesterday, 11 cents from last week. In Raleigh, that gallon costs $3.83. The least expensive in the state, Goldsboro gas, going for $3.68 a gallon. They'll still to come. Sold out run. Thousands hit the streets of Chapel Hill early this morning. Why recovery plays a big role after races like this, and who's helping those runners bounce back. Plus, inclusion in action. A big event in Garner is breaking barriers through sports. Now it's opening doors for everybody to get in on the game. Hundreds of students from across the Triangle came to NC State today to get hands-on with science, technology, engineering, and a little math. It's part of the 4th annual Reach for the Stars, Be a Star STEM Fair. The event focuses on students with disabilities and helps them see a future for themselves in STEM careers. Students got to try out science experiments and learn from NC State students and teachers. According to NC State, just 3% of the STEM workforce includes people with disabilities. Volunteers say events like this are about changing that. Well, from climbing walls to the basketball court, it was all about inclusion today over in Garner. The Garner Police Department partnered with NC Adapted Sports and the Poole Family YMCA for a free spring adapted sports day. About 100 people took part, climbing, playing, and rolling through obstacle courses. Organizers say it's all about making everyone able to access these sports. Well, teams hit the tarmac today at RDU for the Special Olympics North Carolina's annual plane pull. About 80 teams of 7 took turns pulling a full-sized aircraft, 25 feet, all racing for the fastest time. Each team raised at least $1,000 to compete. Organizers say the event brought in more than $125,000 to support Special Olympics athletes from across our state. Well, this morning, thousands of people got up early, laced up their running shoes, and took on the annual Tar Heel 10-miler. The sold-out event took over Chapel Hill this morning. Runners took part in 2 races, the 4-miler and the 10-miler. A local physical therapist, tells us about her work in the recovery zone after the race.
It is a community event, so it started as just a small race with a few thousand people when we first started doing it, and it was really community-led. I'm a Carolina alum, and my clinic is here in Carborough, and so we are part of this running community, and I absolutely love working with all the runners.
Some Rudy Shaw there has been part of the 10-miler for the last 15 years. Recovery is, of course, so important after a long run on a hot day. WRAL's Ashley Rowe was there as this year's MC. WRAL, of course, a proud community sponsor of this event. Well, hundreds hit the ground running this morning at Wake Tech Community College. Around 500 people took part in the Reach, Rally, and Run event. Runners and walkers tackled a 10K, 5K, and Fun Mile across campus. The event raises money for students facing unexpected financial challenges. Organizers say every step helps keep students on track towards their goals. Well, today was the first Saturday that visitors could board Pullen Park's new electric train. On a hot afternoon, we saw quite a few folks out there buying tickets and taking the ride. We spoke with some families, and the consensus is that no matter how old you are, how young you are, everybody loves the train.
Abigail's a big fan of trains, and we heard that they reopened.
Oh, it's great. There's so many families out. The train ride was great. It's a good day. We had a lot of fun.
She was very excited about it. She missed her train rides.
The tickets are $6 to $10 a person, depending on your age. Along with riding the train, visitors can enjoy live music, a scavenger hunt, and, of course, performances throughout this weekend. Well, it's certainly a beautiful day to be outside and ride that train, Grant, but it is hot and so dry out there.
Yeah, it's been very dry. We are in need of a lot of rain to help make up for our drought conditions, but we won't have a whole lot of rain in our forecast. A few showers tomorrow. It's all thanks to this cold front. We're watching it slowly work its way east. Obviously still quiet now, but it was a lot busier out into the Midwest earlier this week. I want to show you some of this video of some of the tornadoes. This is a tornado here out in the Midwest. So again, we've been watching those conditions very closely in the Midwest because they've seen strong to severe storms, homes destroyed, trees falling as a result of multiple tornadoes there. Since Monday, there have been more than 70 reported tornadoes. Yesterday alone, there were 24. So far, thankfully, no reports of deaths, but obviously been very active back to our west. Fortunately here, it's not going to be as active tomorrow. We need a lot of rain, but only a few showers, no severe threat, thankfully. It's going to stay mild overnight. Then cooler to start the week behind the cold front that brings those showers. The one good thing, the silver lining here, is at the end of next weekend and in the next week, the following week, it looks like we could see some better rain chances, and it's needed. We need a whole lot of rain. We need probably 8 to 10 inches within a 1-month time period to make up for our drought conditions. So we need a lot of rain. Again, WRAL Gardens have been very active. I want to show this again. It's been so nice outside and great to see so many folks out there enjoying the nice weather. Temperatures still close to 90 degrees. 90 in Fayetteville, Southern Pines, 89 in Raleigh, 86 Roxborough, 87 in Rocky Mount, 89 in Goldsboro. This evening will drop to the low 80s by 9 o'clock, then mid to upper 70s by 7 p.m. and we'll keep partly cloudy skies through this evening. Our high tomorrow comes in the morning, so we'll have a very warm start to the day in the low 70s, and then temperatures gradually cool as that front starts to move in. Then we have a small chance for showers as well. So here's Futurecast starting at 7 o'clock. Scatter cloud cover continues, maybe a brief shower to our north, but I think most everyone stays dry. Once we get to tomorrow, we'll start to see the rain chances pick up, but not a big rain chance. You can see a broken line of showers back to our north and west. This is 7:15 a.m. tomorrow morning. Still quiet across our area, just scattered clouds. But then by 10:30, you can see these scattered showers making their way into our northwestern spots up towards Roxborough and Durham. You'll want to have the WRAL weather app and check dual Doppler 5000 in the morning to see where those showers are. They'll gradually work their way east, and then by 1 o'clock, moving into our northeastern spots, maybe some pockets of moderate to heavier rain at times, but overall the rainfall totals are not significant. Our southern spots don't get as much rain out of the system. By 8, 9 o'clock in the evening, most of the cloud cover should be out of here. So temperatures kind of gradually fall throughout the day, low 60s by 1 o'clock. And then we'll warm up just a bit in the afternoon with some daytime heating, but not by much. It'll be in the 60s for much of the day tomorrow, and the rain totals are quite low, about 1/100 of an inch for most everyone, maybe 1/10 of an inch for other spots. Then behind the front, 45 for our low Monday, 41 for our low on Tuesday. Could see some patchy frost Tuesday morning, so watching for that. And of course, the Canes play again after the win today on Monday evening. So game 2, temperatures at around 60 before puck drop. And then look at the middle end of next week, temperatures back to the 80s. So it's a short-lived cool down, but yeah, going to be back in the 80s by the middle of next week.
All right, Grant, thank you very much. Well, turning to sports here this evening, it is hot outside, and Chris, the Canes hot on the ice today.
Absolutely, Eric. This game gave us a little bit of everything that you wanted to see in a game, including a Canes win and a big-time shutout for Freddie Anderson. We'll have highlights and post-game reaction next in sports. Nothing better than a Saturday night in Raleigh, especially when the Carolina Hurricanes come away with a big-time win as they start off the Stanley Cup playoffs versus the Ottawa Senators. And boy, what a big-time win for the Canes, winning 2-0, the 6th ever playoff shutout for Frederick Anderson. And boy, he came up so big towards the end. But first, let's see those highlights, ladies and gentlemen. It was a big-time night in Raleigh. NC State head coach Justin Gainey acclimating himself to Raleigh just fine, kicking off the playoffs, sounding off the siren to begin the game. And the playoffs began with some drama right off the face-off. The captains, Jordan Stahl and Brady Tkachuk, take the gloves off and they square up. Stahl got the better of the exchange, but both go to the box for 5 minutes. No score in the first. So let's go to the second period. Second period doesn't have an explosive beginning, no fights, but the Canes finally cash in a little bit over 2 minutes into the period. Canes save it from leaving the zone. Then Jackson Blake sets up the Stank Man. Logan Stankoven opening up the scoring for the playoffs for the Canes, and he was one of the top goal scorers for the Canes last season in the playoffs, 1-0 in the second. All right, forgive us because the video didn't come in fast enough, but in the third period, it was amazing because Frederick Anderson just absolutely stood on his head. Amazing save for him, and then the Canes ended up cashing in their second goal of the game. Logan Stankoven with his second goal. He was one of the top goal scorers in the playoffs for the Canes last year. And, of course, the folks in the locker room afterwards were talking about how great Freddie Anderson is in the playoffs over and over again.
It's a good game. We played hard. They played hard. I think both teams have a lot to be proud of tonight with that effort. First game of playoffs is always fast and physical, and there's not a lot of time up there, and that was the case tonight. So same recipe next game.
Physical guy, plays hard, and he won the go. So it's part of the gig. Obviously, those Tkachuk brothers, they play hard and physical, and they play that style of game, which is hard to play against, and he's no different. So it was an interesting start for sure.
Let's talk about some college basketball. Former Duke Blue Devil Nicholas Hemenia has found his new landing spot. Hemenia has committed to the last team that Duke lost to, the UConn Huskies. Talk about the drama. He started in 5 games for Duke this past season, averaged 19 points per game. He scored just under 6 points per game this season. He reportedly was open to coming back to Duke, but now his time in Durham has come to a close. Some news on the UNC front. Kyan Evans has committed to playing for Minnesota. He was a Tar Heel starting point guard to begin the season, but eventually lost his spot to Derek Dixon and barely played towards the end of the year. Freshman Isaiah Dennis has decided to return to UNC for his sophomore year. He only appeared in 10 games and averaged 2 points per contest. And NC State's Justin Gainey just got another commitment from the transfer portal. Hofstra freshman Preston Edmeade is coming to Raleigh. He averaged 16 points per game on 40% shooting for the season. He's Gainey's second commitment from the transfer portal. Back here in Raleigh as the Canes absolutely on top of the world right now with that 2-0 win. They're going to be right back here for game 2 on Monday night at 7:30. Hopefully they can go to Ottawa up 2-0 in this series, Eric. What an amazing time for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Chris, oh my gosh. I mean, there are hockey highlights and then there are hockey highlights. I don't think there's anybody who saw this game who wasn't just glued to the screen here.
Absolutely, man. It was so fun to watch here, and it was just the atmosphere was just so electric.
Absolutely. Hopefully they can do it again later this